Hello and welcome to Adric Cast. I'm Janey.
I'm Gregor. I said that very aggressively, like an aggressive piece of music.
You did say, yeah.
I'm fine.
Oh,
I'm
very
absolutely
good
fine.
link. Very good link.
Very good link. I think we should just get into the Devil's
Recipe.
Chord because if we want to do the news segment,
Mm.
um, basically since the last episode, in terms of news, I had a couple of birds chirping outside. I kind of needed to fart, but I thought I'd hold it in for the best. Uh, and Janie turned on a light. That's
Nice.
the news segment
Good.
covered since last
That is
time.
what has happened.
Anyway, into the Devil's Chord, I think.
Into the Devil's Chord.
I've got notes. I don't know why it's very funny, but I have notes. You
Okay.
have notes too.
Well,
I want to start with
we
my
both
note,
have
because
very.
my note
Oh, this is
is
this is going to be a long
actually my
one. I can
first.
tell.
My first note is actually first we have a note, which is the first line of the episode. First we have a note, which I think is a very good opening line for this episode,
Oh
mostly being
God,
musical themed.
this is going to be a very long episode. Yes.
Strap
That
in,
is
folks.
that's
Go and grab
strap
a
in.
drink,
God.
probably something alcoholic, if I'm
Yeah,
honest.
I need one.
You know what? See when we did the first Adric cast, the
Mm,
pilots, which we haven't even brought up in new Adric cast.
mm,
We will. We will cover all of this. We'll also cover
we
like White's Gold
haven't.
Adric cast. I promise. We won't do that yet because we want to focus in on a new series. Um,
We'll
but
do it as time goes on.
we'll do it as time goes on if
You
we
gotta
feel
wait.
comfortable sharing that information.
Yeah.
Good things come in small packages,
Good things
like
come to those
information.
who wait.
Good things come to those who wait. That was the thing I wanted to say, but instead
Was
I
it?
thought of a
I thought I'd
completely
help you
different
out,
sentence
yeah.
with the good things come in small packages. Just what came to my head. Anyway, when we did the original Adric casts, I was drinking. Maybe I should have got a drink for this. We are where we are. You can tell how sober Gregor is because the first thing he wanted to talk about was literally the first line.
Yeah.
Uh, very interesting, very fun. I think it's a good first line. I just want to mention it. How do you feel about the episode overall? Not just the first line.
Not just well, the first line I thought was great. I really liked it for the most part. I really liked it for the most part. Um, we had
Yeah,
a brand new villain
we did.
who was
Maestro.
soon, who was
Yes.
brilliant. Really, really good
My second
character.
note after that
Oh,
line thing is Maestro is wonderful, brilliantly camp,
mm,
perfectly camp. One of the
very
strong
chaotic.
original villains I think we've
Mm,
had in years. I say
yeah.
original. People might bring in the Master and Missy and stuff, but they're
Mm,
not original villains.
no,
Maestro is, so I think this is one of the strongest original villains we've had for a very long time in the show.
I agree.
Really.
Really, really strong. I love Maestro. I love
Wonderfully
them.
played by Jinx Monsoon.
Yeah.
Jinx Monsoon can pull a very scary face as well. It's something I've
Yeah.
written.
Just
You
from the
can see it in like
beginning,
from the
from the
beginning,
very
but you
start, loved it. So funny.
it's funny and scary. Perfect for
Funny
Doctor
and
Who,
scary. Yeah. Very
quite frankly.
chaotic.
Chaotic as well. But definitely
Very.
I think that's just
Mm,
like very unpredictable. I think that's just like the biggest
mm,
thing like already to take from that episode is Jinx Monsoon's performance as Maestro.
yeah.
Like the standout. When I obviously watched Doctor Who at midnight for this, so I watched it alone and stuff. But the day
Oh, very
after,
cool.
it'd obviously been
Ooh.
on the telly, and I'd been working and so on. But I come home from work, and my mum's watched it and stuff, and what do you think of Doctor Who? And she said the drag queen was the best bit,
Mm,
is what she said.
really good.
Very good. Jake
Very, very
Swanson.
good.
Give yourself a pat on the back, Miss Swanson. We'll talk more about Maestro as time goes on.
Mm,
In this first sort of this cold open, but the cold open's been back, obviously, after
mm,
Space Babies didn't have one. We get a couple of little characters. We get Harbinger, who we will talk
mm-hmm.
about later. We also get Timothy Drake. Fun
Yes.
fact about Timothy Drake,
Oh, here we go.
he's played by Jeremy Lim, who is the son of Roger Lim, who was a composer in the classic series. He composed music for episodes like Caves of Androzani,
Mm,
Revelation of the Daleks, Keeper of
mm-hmm.
Traken. So yeah, it's just a little fun
A little
fact.
fact.
Yeah. And then obviously there's that whole
Interesting.
introduction to Maestro and doing the
Yes.
uh
Very
killing of
funny.
Timothy Drake
Yes.
in
Which was
Spectacular Fashion.
hilarious.
Oh yeah. And then we get the
Lovely
da-da-da-da,
little intro.
da-da-da-da,
Yeah, lovely
da-da-da-da.
little intro. Which I actually
Very
think,
reminiscent.
I don't know what you're like
You
on
think?
it on a keyboard, but I think you should give that a go. A little
I'll
piano
send you
solo.
a Doctor Who theme. Oh, you want me to piano the Adric cast theme?
Yeah, go for it. Go for your
Eh,
life.
maybe. Maybe. Just for anyone
Am
who
I
doesn't
asking
know,
too
that horrible
much?
theme you heard at the start was me. The reason you're
Yeah.
wiping blood out of your ears right now is because of me in GarageBand. Sorry.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah, no, I
I
love
like
that.
it.
I
I feel like
really,
it
really liked it.
blend into the actual theme very
N-
well
No,
because
it
the
played
piano's very
at a
simple, and then
really well,
you actually were about to say it there.
and
It
then
cut
it's
in at a
in,
really odd
well,
point with fanfare
really
in mid.
odd place.
Like, I think they should have blended it together more instead of just cutting it into the theme. Like they should have had
Yeah,
the piano blend into the like as you bring up the theme and blending into the bass
yeah,
line. That would have been better, or just the entire theme be piano.
yeah.
If they did that, I
It
would have had
really, it
more
cut in
like
really oddly.
it cut in oddly.
It was kind of jarring.
Definitely. But I like that they're trying to do, like, different things. It feels very
Yeah.
reminiscent of the Chibnall era when they wanted to do, like, the theme at the end of Demons of the Punjab and all that stuff.
Mm.
Um,
Well, and I kind of like the breaking of the fourth wall there. I thought
well, it's a
that
subtle
was,
break. I
yeah.
mean,
I mean, Jinx
she
looked
could
into
be
the camera,
talking
but
to
sure.
the dying body of
Yeah, maybe.
Timothy Drake. You could it
Maybe.
was
I mean, I
it's
think.
not it's not like, "Hello, how are you? Let's see what's happening in the night garden today."
No. I
It's not
think
like that.
as we get through, wasn't Jinx wasn't talking to the dead body on the floor because there were a lot of
She was breaking the fourth
fourth
sorry,
wall breaks. I
they
mean,
were breaking the fourth wall.
every 2 minutes.
Got the pronoun wrong. Every 2 minutes,
Every
they
two
were breaking
minutes.
the fourth wall.
Yeah,
Uh,
which was annoying to me. But this first one I really liked.
we'll go into that more later on. Anyway, through the titles, we get the
Hmm.
Doctor and Ruby having a traditional a TARDIS scene at the start of the episode where he's nattering on
Yeah,
and is not nattering on, he's tinkering with the console and Ruby's having a little daydreamy
I
chat.
again.
At this point, it's at this point where Ruby mentions that her mum, Carla, is a lesbian. The first time that
Sorry,
that's been brought into the that's been confirmed, or I think just brought up in general
sorry,
for
sorry.
Carla. That's fine.
Sorry. Wait, did I miss that? No, no, I'm so sorry. I can't. I just can't let this pass. What?
So when Ruby's talking about the Beatles,
Yeah.
she says, "My mum used to have this girlfriend who collected vinyl, and that's how to get into it."
Am I going to be really prudish now and just say that I thought she just meant like girlfriend, as in like I have girlfriends, like friends that are girls. We go on a girls' night, girlfriends.
Could be that. It could be either or, really. We're not sure.
Am I prude?
I took it as let it go, like because it could be.
Interesting.
It
Oh,
could
that
be either one.
totally went over my head. Totally went over my head.
It could be either one, but think it might be the former,
Romantic.
possibly. I mean, having representation in Doctor is important, and
Oh, 100%. Yeah. But I just didn't process that in the same way that you did.
well, that's why we are co-hosts, so we can have different angles on things just as well. Anyway, we have this scene where they're talking about the Beatles. I love how
Hmm.
enthusiastic the Doctor is when Ruby comes up with the idea of going to see them.
Yeah.
Usually, when the companion has an idea to go somewhere, either the Doctor's like, "Yeah, sure," or the
Okay,
Doctor really
whatever.
doesn't
Let's
like
go
the
then.
idea and thinks it's like, "Oh, that's dumb,
Yeah.
but we'll do it anyway." But
Yeah.
Shooty's like, "Oh my god, that's an incredible idea. We're doing that right away."
Yeah. No, I love that. And I sort of loved the sort of, oh, really? And then like he got really excited. I love that.
He sort of he cheekily is like, "Really? That is amazing!" I love it.
Yeah.
It's fun,
Really? Yeah, I
and
loved it.
the
It was
fun.
fun.
The fun keeps going
It
when they're
does
about
keep
to leave the
going.
TARDIS and
Hmm.
Ruby brings out the clothes,
Mm.
and then they go and like a couple of kids excitedly skipping off to the TARDIS
That's
wardrobe
a
together.
very nice bit. That's a very nice little cut. I
And
love that.
like, "I want a beehive, I want a beehive."
But did you hear Shooty as well? He's like, I've got so many wigs.
I love that.
I love
So many wigs. Standout quote for
so
the
many
episode.
wigs.
Brilliant,
Yeah, that is the quote.
brilliant. I mean, overall, something that I really got off of the sort of first 5 minutes or so of this episode is the chemistry between
Mm.
Shooty and Millie is
Yeah,
insane. It's so good. Very good casting, the pair of them.
yeah, very good.
Great, great chemistry. I love seeing them together. When they come out the TARDIS and they're on Abbey Road and they have the little like dance on the zebra crossing and they're just
Mhm.
having so much fun together. I love to see it.
Yeah, that's nice. Nice little
Love
bit.
to see it. Nice little
More
bit.
chaos.
Just the mucking around in general.
Yeah,
I enjoy
like no
it.
mission. Like they're just having fun,
Just having fun.
having a little bit of fun.
Having fun. And they head towards Abbey Road.
Hmm.
I like how, even though in general I don't think the episode's very Beatles focused as a whole, when they are talking about the Beatles, they
Yeah.
do get a lot of historical facts in there. A lot of, like, he mentions the name of the studios before it was Abbey Road Studios,
Hmm.
and I'm pretty sure that's bang on. And he gets names of producers and everything, get name dropped, Brian Epstein and all this stuff.
Mm.
They do stay true to the source material with like where the Beatles are concerned.
Yeah.
I think
No,
that's yeah, it's a historical
it's
episode,
very
so
nicely done.
nicely done. And obviously they go and see the
Very
Beatles.
nicely done. And then and then we go into the recording booth
Yes.
and everything's a little bit off.
Off.
A little bit off.
They definitely scooched round any Beatles songs in
Yeah.
an original way. I kind of like Russell had kind of teased heavily about how something was off with the Beatles and their music.
Mm.
I thought what was gonna happen is like they would just be silent or something like that when they would be playing the song. I dropped something there, I'm sorry. Or something like that, you know.
Yeah. Oh,
But they
I fully
instead
lost
of
my
that,
voice. Yeah.
yeah, they lost their voice or something, but instead of that, they just play a really shit song.
You
And the
might know this.
faces, Shooty and Millie's faces, like, completely
Yeah,
changing
just
as
drop.
they go through. I love that.
It is
Very
nice to know that Paul McCartney had a dog called Fred, though. I thought that was a nice little. I don't know if it's real. I
another bit of
suspect it's
I
not.
think he might have.
Did he?
Maybe.
Okay, well then that's
I'll ask my dad is a huge Beatles fan, I'll ask him.
very nice. Little,
What? Maybe. Um, we also get it with Cilla Black as well, and the Doctor's like,
yeah,
"Oh, Cilla." Come
Yeah.
on.
Oh, Scylla.
Come on, sweetheart, sort yourself out. Come on.
Yeah.
I
No,
love it.
very, very weird.
Obviously, they twig from this that something's up at time,
Mhm.
and he reads the newspaper and sees all the historical inaccuracies, being like
Mhm.
the whole stuff with Finland going to war or whatever it was, and he points out. He also says, there's a nice line
Yeah.
there, music is the highest form of thought. I like that.
Mm.
This is how the Doctor describes music and how important it is. It's during this scene as well that we get another appearance from the one and only Susan Twist as
Mm.
well.
As a tea lady.
We talked about it in the last episode, and we'll talk about it later
Yes.
on, about the whole convenience of not keep catching the Doctor's eye. This is probably one of the more obvious
Mm.
appearances because they focus the camera in on her and she gets a good few lines and the whole
Yeah.
statuesque thing. God knows what her game is, but obviously it's something worth noting
Well,
that
could
she's
you
there.
imagine if it isn't though? Just
But
imagine.
they just couldn't be arsed
She's just
casting
not in it.
all
She's in it
parts
for
and
the
they're
whole
just like, we'll just get.
series, and then the last episode, it's just like, oh, she's not in it. She's
Well,
gone.
we know that she is because of the
Well,
trailers and things, but
like,
Susan Triad. What if?
what if?
Anyway, it's in this canteen scene where we get a lot of Beatles heavy interaction
Mm.
as the Doctor and Ruby completely forget about George Harrison and Ringo Starr.
Yeah.
Who cares about them? The
Yeah, I
only
bet they're
Beatles that really
thrilled.
matter are John Lennon and Paul McCartney.
Yeah. I bet they are thrilled. Are they
Well,
still
only one of
alive?
the Ringo Starr is. Ringo's still going about. George Harrison
Oh,
died
okay.
in like the 90s or
I
something.
did not do.
No
Oh,
worries. Well, as I said, my dad's a big Beatles fan, so I do
I bet
know.
Ringo Starr is thrilled.
Well, I mean, like, he has got a Twitter account, so someone's probably tweeted
Do
telling
you
him,
reckon? Oh,
"Hey, Ringo,
God.
he's seen this." For fuck's sake, I can't believe they put me out of Doctor Who. The fucking cheek of them.
Oh, my God. It was like he was
It's like he was here.
in the room. I think that was one of your
It's like he
best.
joined
That
the
was one of your
Discord
best.
call. Thank you.
Ringo, if you're
I
listening,
mean,
write in.
I did grow up with the voice of Ringo Starr because he did the narration for Thomas the
What?
Tank Engine.
As in, like, that was your voice?
That was my
That was
voice
your
when I grew
voice
up.
until the
My
age
first
of 12?
words, "Mummy, I want a bowl of Cheerios."
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's actually really
Mum, my
creepy.
nappy needs change.
Back to space,
Back to space, babies.
baby. Really
I'm
creepy.
gonna put
Yeah,
Ringo Starr.
mummy.
I'm gonna put Ringo Starr to the side now, just like they did in the episode.
Just like they did in the episode.
Go and record some Thomas. Ringo, go on. Leave us alone.
I
Uh,
also quite like something that the average viewer would not be too fussed about, but I really liked the fact that the Doctor has money again. We didn't have it in Russell T Davies one. No money.
makes sense that he would carry around
Yeah, but
like money that he comes across, and he has it
he
from
didn't.
different
He was
periods
poor for
of
years.
time.
He was penniless. He was penniless.
I
We
mean,
used to have it all
I
the
can
time
get
in the
that he
classic
might not
series.
happen to have certain. Well, I get that he might not have certain currencies, but he has
Yeah,
other currencies, you know,
but
and
no,
like
Tennant the whole
they're
time. No money, no money, no money. No, now we've got it
just
back, which
reflecting the
I
show's
like.
budget. That's all.
I like it. I like it.
It's proper era accurate money.
Well, I
Well,
imagine that when the TARDIS lands somewhere,
just
it.
gives them a wad of cash.
Well, why not? Why not?
Why not? If it can
Come
give
on,
the
fight me on this.
Doctor
Like this,
custard
I will
creams,
not back down on this.
if
It
it can
just
give
gives them
the Doctor
money.
biscuits, it can give the Doctor money.
Well, it must know where it has landed, so then maybe it lands and it just
I
goes
mean,
to
yeah,
money.
it's nice. It's a nice touch.
Yeah, wouldn't it be?
It's a nice touch. I think the Doctor has done it before, having money on his person or her person or their person.
Lots of times
But
in the classic series, lots and lots of
I mean,
times.
there's also times where he's just pulled out a credit card for no, was it? No, it was something else, wasn't it? In Voyage of the Damned, was it Mr. Copper's
Um,
own money that he gives
yes,
like that credit
it was
cards
the spending money for when they went down to the
spending money?
planet. Yeah.
That was that I mixed up. I apologise, viewers. I will be punished later.
Can't get the stuff.
Can't get the stuff.
Can't get the
Anyway, bringing it back to the Beatles. I remember that fuss that happened when the cover for DWM came out,
Mm,
and the pictures of the Beatles, and everyone was like, "Who the fuck
yeah.
are they?"
Yeah.
I mean, the likenesses definitely aren't on point, but I
Well,
think
two of them we didn't
performance-wise,
see anyway, so it doesn't really matter, does it?
doesn't really matter. But
Two of them we
anyway, I
didn't
think
see.
performance-wise, they're pretty decent.
Yeah, they're not bad.
They're
Not as
not
good as
bad. They
your
have the
Ringo
voices
Starr,
good.
obviously.
I mean, the fact that they were casting a Ringo Starr didn't even look my way. I even had the right haircut at the time.
That is atrocious.
It's atrocious.
That is
But the
atrocious.
guys that they did get in, I think, were pretty good.
Yeah, they were good.
They are obviously aren't in it a lot, but they they,
Mm.
they give good, convincing
Yeah,
performances. The conversation,
Quite a Beatles light episode for what
yeah,
Beatles are. Yeah,
is odd.
just a note. Just a note.
Just a note.
Just a note.
Um, indeed. But the conversation between the Doctor and Paul McCartney,
Mm,
I quite like that conversation. I mean, it's going
yeah.
on with the Lennon and Ruby one as well,
Mm,
but I was more focused on the Doctor and Paul because, well, number one, I think they focus on it more in general in the
yeah.
episode.
Mm,
But there's nice details when he's talking about like having the songs in the back of his mind,
yeah.
and he starts to say the notes. And while
Yes.
he's saying the notes in the soundtrack, the notes are played. Like as he says them,
Mm,
he's like a G, and then Murray Gold plays a G, and he says, and then an E and a C, and he plays those notes. I think that's really nice.
yeah, nice little
I did bother to go and check that those were the actual notes
touch.
he
But
was
if you
playing
say
and
it was
everything.
there, it was a nice little touch. No,
It was
nice.
there. It's
Yeah,
definitely
nice.
there, and it is a nice little touch.
It's lovely, yeah.
Fun fact about the guy who plays Paul:
Yeah.
he's been in Doctor Who before.
I see.
Did you guess when he appeared in Doctor Who?
Was he an alien?
No,
Did he look like did he look like a human?
he did look like a human. Yes, I'll
This is
give you that.
like the Guess Who of Doctor Who
Oh,
characters.
he
Was he
wasn't. It
wearing
wasn't that long
glasses?
ago.
Oh,
I don't think so. It wasn't that long ago he appeared last in Doctor Who.
time is relative. It was a long time ago for me.
In terms of episodes,
Um,
less than 20
oh
episodes before
God.
this one.
Less than 20 episodes.
In fact, less than 10 episodes, I
Okay,
think,
how many
actually.
people are in an episode? And you're going, oh, it's only less than
Hold
20.
on. One, two,
Oh
three,
God.
4, 5, 6,
And
7.
Gregor is now
Just over
counting,
10
he
episodes
says.
ago.
Oh, right, okay, so you are going to be listening to this, viewers. We're not cutting this out. So the
No.
last episode was Space Babies. Episode before that was Church and Ruby Road, The Giggle, or
Mm,
Blue Yonder,
mm,
Starbase,
mm.
The Legend of the Sea
Uh-huh.
Devils. Thank you. Eve of the
Yes.
Daleks. Um, am I getting
Yes.
really slow? Um, then the Flux, one of them, and the other Flux
Then the other Flux.
ones.
He was in Survivors of the Flux. Episode 5 of the Flux
Okay,
story.
thanks. See.
I thought it would be fun for you to see if you could guess.
Oh God.
So,
Right.
he
So
played the guide who shows Yaz and Dan and
where to go up the
Jericho the
mountain?
tunnels. He
Oh, the
shows them the tunnels.
tunnels. Oh
A
yeah, no.
Liverpudlian.
Oh
He
God,
plays
yeah.
another Liverpudlian,
Oh, to remember that. Yeah.
obviously.
God. How was I supposed to remember that? That was years ago.
I
That
mean,
was
if you could
actually
remember,
years ago.
and it was only 10 episodes. So,
Oh God.
you know. There was
Okay, well, there we go
also the
then.
guy who played John Lennon. I'm not going to make you guess this. The guy who played John
Okay.
Lennon's brother appeared in Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror. I don't know which role he played.
Okay.
It's all in Doctor Who magazine. If you want to go and fucking check it out, it's Doctor Who magazine. They tell all.
I don't feel like I need to now. You've told me everything.
I'm stopping Doctor Who magazine getting money. My bad. Anyway,
Right, very interesting. Very
we get that. We get a fucking jump scare
interesting,
with
actually.
Jinx Monsoon on the spoon.
Well, yeah. Well, do you follow Jinx Monsoon on Twitter?
I do now. I didn't before.
Because posted that picture of the maestro on a spoon and
The meme, no.
put the camp shit. I found that I really liked that Jinx Monsoon.
It's like when Mandip Gill had her in the Cyberman costume. It's Cyber Mandip.
Oh, was it? I must have missed that, but that's
Missed
brilliant.
that one, but yeah, it's brilliant. That's a funny little meme, though. That might be around for a while.
Yeah, I like it.
I also think that the reflection in John Lennon's glasses is clever as well.
Yes, very clever.
A little bit of fact
Um,
checking with the
oh,
Beatles, by the way, and John
yeah,
Lennon's glasses. People were cross about him wearing glasses because
he
apparently he
didn't
didn't
at
wear
that
them till
point.
later on.
No, he didn't wear glasses
From what
until he
I
had long
understand,
hair, as far as I
from what I
understand. That's how I measure
understand,
it.
he did have glasses. He didn't like wearing them.
Oh,
He wasn't confident, so whenever they were taking pictures or filming, he didn't wear his glasses. But just in regular day to day, I think he was wearing them.
yeah.
So historically, not
Interesting.
inaccurate, from what I understand.
Interesting.
The
Hmm.
reflection of Jinx Monsoon in the glasses is a clever shot
Those
like
reflections
that.
were sort of terrifying.
There was a jump scare because there's one bit where she does the Jinx. Sorry. Well, actually, Jinx Monsoon's pronouns are she, her, and then the
Yeah,
Maestro's pronouns are they,
yeah,
them.
yeah. So
So
if you're talking about Jinx, it's she, her. But it's good to have this
uh
conversation.
I
This is
do, I
what
do want
Doctor
to
Who's
get the
all
pronouns
about.
right. If I
Yeah,
get them
no, and
wrong,
that's
I'm
good.
terribly
Like, we
sorry, and I'll
appreciate
correct
that.
them.
Everyone appreciates that. That's the point.
So Jinx Monsoon in the spoon, clean
Jinx
jump scares
Monsoon.
us, fucking
I
screams.
The one in the little
Shut my
sugar bowl was the worst.
That one is
Where she's like licking her teeth. Absolutely
bloody keep it
terrifying.
down, Jinx. You know, I do need to sleep. You know, come on.
But very funny. Very funny.
Very funny. Anyway, after all that, we get the rooftop scene.
Yeah.
My notes for that, the whole rooftop scene is great. Is what I said.
It's really nice.
It's
Was
really
that
nice. It looks good.
the Ruby Waltz or
I think that is
whatever
part
it
of her
is?
theme, but obviously it's got an in-universe purpose, which is fine.
Yes. Oh, of
Uh,
course. I was trying
it's a,
to look back for the little celebration-y, music-y thing, and I couldn't find it, so I couldn't check what it was.
it does sound like it was from that, like part
Yeah.
of it's from that.
It's very nice.
But that whole scene was very nice.
Mm.
Susan gets mentioned heavily.
Well, we will come on
Mentioned.
to this because
We
that
will
is going
put
to
it.
heavily tie in to our little predictions discussion.
It very well might,
But
but just
very
for
nice to have a
just
little
in terms of this
mention.
scene, it's nice that he mentions it.
Mm.
It's not just like rubbish fan wank because it has got a purpose and like the doctor
Yeah.
notices the weather's off.
Mm.
Like with all the smog and the doctor's like, hang on, this smog wasn't here when I
No,
was in Potter's Lane,
it's
you
all
know. The doctor
darkness.
picks up that time's changed from
Yeah,
that, and I think
something's
that's
not
clever.
right.
I think that's clever tying that into it, and the fact he points at it in the distance is like, I'm
Mm.
over there right now.
Yeah, I like that.
Wafting a
That's
cloth
nice.
around and talking about a madhouse full of Arabs.
Yeah, sorry,
Not being
the
very
America to our classics. No, I mean we can't even watch it. We can't even watch that. Oh, what's the World Cup?
if you got the DVD.
Yeah, but I don't have DVD, so I'm talking from my own.
You can still buy it though.
Um,
I mean, I'm sure that guy is probably going around the HMVs pulling off every DVD he can find, but you'll still find them about if you look.
He's not a happy bunny, is he? Not a happy
Not a
bunny.
happy bunny. Well, he can suck it. Anyway,
Oh,
moving on.
that's the quote for this episode.
Suck it.
He
Moving
can
on.
suck it.
The music bit is nice, the piano.
Very
Again,
nice.
with Ruby, it's like bringing in her experiences and things and her parts of her character into the episode. She plays the piano. She's a musician.
Mm.
Perfect for this story, having
Yeah,
her
yeah.
and being able to play that. And obviously, the Doctor makes use of it,
Later
gets
on.
her to play.
Well, and
Well, get
later on,
later on,
she is very important in the sort of towards the end of the episode.
indeed. But I like that the Doctors,
Well,
like
not maybe I
Europeanists,
picked her up a little bit there.
play the music for me, baby.
Yeah,
And then the bit where he's leaning on the sign and looking out as he enjoys the
mm,
music. He's
yeah.
not the only one enjoying the music
No,
because
he is not.
there's other people there. I've lost a note where I mention it. Um,
Well, I think I know who
June
you're talking
Hudson,
about. June Hudson.
the one and
Lovely.
only June Hudson,
Lovely little
is
cameo,
there.
wasn't it?
It's a lovely little cameo. She's
Really,
obviously
really
known by
lovely.
fans.
Mm.
People like fans know her. She did a great she made some iconic costumes, like the season 18 Fourth Doctor costume, I think was one of hers.
Mhm.
Uh she deserved a cameo. And she got one. In fact, it wasn't even like they phoned her and asked her, "Do you
She
want to come
did.
and cameo?" She came for an audition for the part, and like Phil Collinson and that sitting there were like, "Oh my god, that's June Hudson," and they were like, "Screw the auditions. June Hudson's got this part." You know,
Oh, I didn't know that. That is lovely.
that is lovely.
That is really
June
lovely.
Hudson's not the only familiar face uh, in that sequence, though. I think
No, she
the
isn't.
sort of older guy with the mustache and the goatee. I think I wasn't able to confirm this, but I think
Mm.
he was the headmaster of Coal Hill School from Series 8 and Class,
Oh, was
who
he?
met a grisly end getting his face ripped off in class.
Interesting. Well, I can't help you with that fact at all because I don't know if it is.
And
Sorry.
neither do I. I tried to look it up. He's not in the credits. They don't credit
Oh,
him. So I couldn't confirm if it's the same actor, but I
well,
think it
that's
was.
but mainly for him.
Also, there was a boy in that scene, and he's got model trains on his shelf behind him, which is cool. It's worth mentioning.
Yeah, cool. Mm,
Very good.
very, very cool.
Then,
Good taste.
fuck all the people listening to the music. Jinx Monsoon arrives.
Yes. With
Yes.
the
With
giggle.
the giggles. Yeah.
Oh, nice
Not just the same giggle though. It's
little
Jinx
lick. It was
Monsoon's
only
own version
like
of
three
the
episodes
giggle.
ago.
You know, it's not Neil
Yes.
Patrick Harris laughing. I like
No,
that, and
and
it's
then there
got an
was a
extra little bit
little
at the end as well. So like
there
ha
was
ha
a
ha
little
ha ha ha
spooky
ha.
Sue sort of giggle in amongst it. I don't know if you caught
I
that.
think they did have one bit that was Neil
Yeah,
Patrick
one
Harris
little
like afterwards, but just to remind people. But
very nice.
it's a
I was
nice
sort of
little.
shocked because I didn't
I,
expect there to be the giggle, and
they had a
immediately
preview
you're then like,
scene that they
"Oh,
released a few hours before the episode, and the first line in the preview scene is the Doctor going, "That was the
oh,
giggle."
did see, I was off Twitter all day.
I didn't
I was
see
off
that
Twitter all
preview
day."
scene intentionally because I was going to watch the episode
Mm,
in a couple hours. So I'm like, I can't be bothered getting anything spoiled. So I didn't see the pre. So the giggle was a surprise for me as well. But it
yeah,
wasn't a
it was
surprise for
nice.
anyone apart from us. It was nice. And then we get probably one of my favorite scenes from the entire episode
Yeah, very
when
nice.
the Doctor and Ruby have hidden out in the coal bunker or the basement,
Mhm.
wherever it is, and he uses the sonic screwdriver to cut out the sound.
Yes.
A lot of people say the sonic screwdriver is maybe a bit overpowered these days. It can do a
Oh,
lot
it's
of
Sonic.
things.
It's Sonic
But it's
sound.
Sonic.
It's
It
Sonic.
makes sense that it can cut the sound.
Yeah.
I think that's a great use
Well,
for it.
and it's like it's not like I think it's just it's so overpowered sphere of that scene that
Mm.
actually you sort of become a bit deaf. So it's not like, oh, let's turn the sound off, everyone. Yeah.
Yes.
Which I have said did sort of think my TV had broken for a second there. And then I was like, oh, I believe it was intentional. So very nice, very very nice.
Very nice. Obviously, fighting a villain that's heavily related to sound. It's a very clever thing, a very clever
Mm.
counter. And I
Yeah,
like how
I agree.
Maestro's taken aback by it,
Yes, sort of
but
impressed, sort of a little bit
impressed, does a
impressed.
little clap,
Yeah,
and then
I
takes
like,
out the
I like
tuning
it.
fork, does it on the
Yes,
puddle. I love all that.
yeah,
It
very
looks
good.
great. Really good stuff, actually, I
Sound
think.
and vision, love it.
Sound and yeah, it's just great.
It's really
A
good.
really good scene. Anyway, Maestro buggers off at that point.
Well,
Got better things to
goes
do.
after June. Goes after June, don't they?
Goes after June
Sorry, June.
because Maestro obviously wasn't a fan of the season 18 costume, so goes and gets a bit of revenge. And then we get a fourth wall break as Maestro cheekily winks at the
Yeah.
camera before
Which
killing
I'm
June.
okay with. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that one as well. I'm all right with it. I can
I mean, I'm
handle it.
not too fussed about Maestro
No,
breaking the fourth wall
and I
because
kind of like the villain
it's
breaking the
it's a
fourth wall.
god. It's a god.
Yeah,
They're above everything. They're
yeah,
outside of the universe in a way.
yeah. No, I love that.
Kind of fits that. I don't mind it.
Well, and you could explain it like because they're a god, they're more
Mhm.
aware of things. So, like they're
Exactly. That's
aware
it.
that there's
That's
an
it.
audience.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, I loved
Good. While that's going on,
it.
the
Loved
Doctor
it.
and Ruby have the chat about the events of the Giggle and the Toy Maker.
Yes.
It says that Maestro is a part member of the Pantheon.
Mm.
I'm not
Russell
sure
loves
if
that
this is a
word,
new
doesn't he?
Pantheon
Russell
or if they're
bloody
talking about
loves
the
that
same
word.
Pantheon, like the Pantheon of Discourse, where the trickster's from and all that stuff.
He loves the
Don't know.
Pantheon. Doesn't matter which
He loves
one,
the Pantheon.
loves it. Just loves that
He's
word.
just a Pantheon.
Go and
I
buy
don't
the
think we're ever gonna
dictionary,
find out
honestly.
anything else about the Pantheon, like obviously there's a lot about
Mm,
gods and the toy makers sort of world and toy maker like villains. It's a big thing here.
yeah.
And the Doctor brings in bioregeneration again.
Mm,
There's some interesting things because we've never been too sure exactly what went on with the bioregeneration, and it's been up for debate heavily
yeah.
in the fandom, very
Mm,
heavily, like
how
a
does it
fake
work?
cover.
Yeah.
Shots are
Oof.
being fired.
Oh gosh.
Here he says some interesting things.
Mm,
He says that the bioregeneration tore his soul in half. And I'm like, does that mean we've
yeah.
got half a doctor right now?
Yeah, it's not very useful, is it? As a defense
Uh,
tactic. It's
no.
not very
Also
useful.
mentions that he can't do it again.
Yeah. Oh, thank
Uh,
God for
thank
that.
God.
Thank God. Oh my
So one off.
God. I've been holding my breath since November. Oh, December. Oh my God.
Every
I'm
I
so
was
glad.
I was worried that every time the doctor regenerates now
Yeah.
it's just gonna be two doctors. Um if I'm honest, I kinda want the 14th
Yeah.
Doctor
No,
to
I'm
come
so
back so
glad.
that the 15th Doctor can suck him up like Hoover and he can be whole again. Like shoo,
Oh,
and he
oh,
goes.
oh
That'd be nice.
God. What a strange little world you inhabit.
Yes,
Just-
indeed.
To be fair though, I did sort of think, sorry, just sort of going off topic now. I did sort of think at the end of the giggle that they would separate for a little battle, and then at the end, when they were having a little hug, it would be like, time for you to go again
Maybe.
now. Go back. Do you know what I mean? That would have been better, Russell. That would have been better.
Maybe in the future, we'll see what happens.
Maybe.
Anyhow, Ruby reminds the Doctor that it can't be all bad because she's alive
Mm,
and she comes from the future, therefore the world doesn't end in 1963.
yeah.
Pyramids of Mars, anyone? I
No,
mean,
what are you talking about?
obviously, Russell has looked at that scene from Pyramids of Mars and said that needs a modern
Yeah.
return. And to be fair, obviously, it's a straight up repeat of that. But the amount of people that haven't seen Pyramids of Mars, I think, justifies it enough
Yeah.
to do it again. And I've actually written in my notes that it's kind of done better than the one in Pyramids of Mars.
Yes. Well, because
It,
there's so much more to it.
I mean, yeah, exactly. and in the Pyramids of Mars one, obviously it's great. Don't get me wrong, I
Lord
do
of Green
enjoy that story, and Tom Baker and Liz Sladen are brilliant.
Screen.
But Little Green,
Mhm.
but in that you just see out the tires, you just see all like bits of sand, and the doctor's like,
Yeah,
"Yeah,
that's
Sutik did that."
weird sort of
In this one,
screensaver, weird sort of
yeah,
screensaver
a little
outside
bit
the
like that.
doors. Yeah.
Sarah, what do you think of my new Windows screensaver? I downloaded it this morning.
Oh, wasn't expecting that little giggle at the end, but lovely. No, very lovely.
Tom did love a good giggle. Um, but I think for this
He
one as
did like,
well, it's he did like a
yeah,
big
so that
giggle.
was,
I think for this one as well, Ruby's reaction to it and just that, like we mentioned it, we touched on it a little bit with Space Babies, with like my mum is dead sort of thing. But
mm,
here, it just hits like it
yeah.
hits her, and seeing her home in tatters, like properly, like Big
Mm.
Ben in ruins,
Oh yeah,
red
there's no coming back
buses,
from that. There's no, that's,
scars,
yeah, that is like, I mean,
and it's it's almost it's terrible, but it's
good
really
one.
well done. Really well done.
It's really good.
Very genuine reaction. I mean,
Mm,
imagine if you saw your home and everything in ruins and knowing that everyone's dead.
yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible. But they don't really have time to process it properly because
No.
Maestro bleeding
Little high heel action.
high
Uh,
heel action.
Boo.
This is
I
boo.
love that. Boo.
And the way it transitions to the black,
And I love
like
that because we
very
had that
well.
with the toy
Toy maker, yeah, some toy
maker,
maker
take you
action
out
going
of
in.
the moment. Yeah, they can take you out and then you're in their world. And I love that.
And this is obviously the Doctor's been made aware of Maestro from the last
Mm,
scene, but this is where Maestro gets a good look at the Doctor.
yeah.
And I like this scene. Well, actually, I forgot to mention to do with the before we get to Maestro. Hold on, go back a bit. I forgot to mention a quote I really liked during the scene where the Doctor says, "With no way of expressing a broken heart, they all go to war without even knowing why,
Mm,
being the reason for the destruction." With no music, you know. I'm like, maybe
poetic.
I suppose if people lost
Yeah.
music, it could happen. If
Yeah.
people forgot what it was, it's clever. It's
Mm,
clever. Anyway, going back to Maestro, another good scene with Jinx.
mm,
I like when they call the Doctor the Lord Temporal. I love that.
yeah. Which
And
took me a
then,
minute. It did take me a minute to be like, what is going on? What the fuck's happening?
I
But
mean,
then I
usually
sort
it's
of got
Time
it.
Lord, obviously, but just shake it up a little. You are the Lord
Yeah.
Temporal. I like it.
Yeah.
Also,
No, it was good.
Maestro is a child of the Toymaker,
Mm.
which
A
confirms
child,
the Toymaker
not the child, a
a child.
child.
I mean, we probably will get more Maestro-like characters. We'll get into
Yeah,
it
I hope
in the
so.
theories, but for
Not too
this,
often, but I hope so.
we basically get confirmation of Toymaker fucks.
Mhm.
God knows who he fucked, but
God,
he has
your
kids.
mind goes to these places.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I had this sex.
Oh God, that's harrowing. That's
I
that's really
had to pay child care, doctor.
that is really
You
very
will let me win the
unsettling.
game so I can pay the child care.
Oh, oh God.
That's enough of that. I'm putting a pin in that. I'm
Anyway,
putting
moving on.
the nail in the
I
coffin.
really like. I like the little song.
Da, 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 da.
No, the little dad's so bad. I loved it.
Oh, that is good. It's good singing from Jinx Monsoon.
Yeah, I
The
just thought it was
bit
really
that they do, possibly a bit of fourth wall breaking, playing that
lovely.
touch of Doctor Who theme, but it could also be because they're
Yes,
talking
what
about
with
the
the
Doctor.
TARDIS?
Yeah, but it could also be the heartbeat of a Time Lord that they're doing on a piano. Da 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 da
Yes,
da.
probably. I
That
love
could
that
be it.
bit. I thought there was something about that that was so 60s, where the lights are going in TARDIS, and it's
Oh
real.
yeah,
It just
when they take control of the TARDIS, and it's sort of like the
It felt
lettering on the sign goes
it's sort of the
off.
same sort of music.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's sort of
it's
it's
great.
almost like chase music. Like din 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 din. I loved it.
I love it when
Brilliant.
we get a bit of, like, TARDIS-y action like that.
Mm, brilliant.
The, Maestro also name drops the music of the Spheres, being
Yes.
the ultimate goal is reaching the music of the Spheres or something like
Mm,
that. I think, a very unexpected nod to a mini-sode from the Tennant era,
yes.
the music of the Spheres. I don't know if you know that one. It was played during the
I do
prom,
very niche. Very
2008.
niche.
Very
Very,
niche,
very
but
niche.
It's a Russell script, so he's
Yeah.
just digging in his big old box of
Yeah.
ideas.
What can
Also,
I
in this
use?
little what can I use? Also, in this little exchange, Maestro thinks the Doctor is very hot, apparently.
Yeah,
Because you
well,
might have your time travel, you might
ooh,
be really hot, but
yeah.
you can't defeat me. I like that. I don't think the villains often do,
Oh, I
like
like
when they're
that though.
talking about the
Very
Doctor, they're like,
cheeky. No.
"You might have the range, you might look really hot, but you can't defeat me."
Yeah.
I'll give you
No, I
that. If you're
like
a
that. I love
looker, I'll give
that.
you that. You can't
Yeah.
defeat me, Doctor, but
You're
damn,
very hot.
you're hot. And name drops timey-wimey.
Mm,
Uh, yeah,
yeah. Time.
it was
Yeah.
coming back at
Are
some
we
point,
over
we knew.
that? Are we over it yet, Russell?
Obviously not. Moffat as well.
Well, yeah, but
Anyway, that exchange
like
happens.
Russell, a little bit of encouragement.
He does.
Yeah, very good.
Mm,
That was my favorite. I think that was probably my favorite bit of the episode. Actually, was um that little bit with the piano
for
and
that.
yeah, really liked it. I just thought it was. I really liked the fact that they were sort of taken out of the scene a bit.
Yeah, really good.
Mm,
Uh, anyway, the Doctor and Ruby go back to 1963. They have no
mm,
choice because the TARDIS has been buggered by Maestro. Uh, they head back to Abbey
yeah.
Road Studios to try and record the Banishing song to get the Banishing Chord.
Mm,
Since when Maestro was telling the Doctor about how they came into being, and the Doctor's like, "So there is a way to get rid of,"
mm,
I like that. Anyway, during this scene, obviously Ruby Sunday gets yanked by the musical notes, dragged away.
yes.
I think the music that's playing might be some "I'm the Doctor."
Oh, do you think?
I think it's the that's playing. But I think
Oh,
this. I'm not sure if that's from
interesting.
"I Am the Doctor" or not. I can't remember where it's from.
It's from a song.
I know it plays when Matt Smith does his first
Okay.
Geronimo at the end of time. It's another
Yeah,
Murray Gold motif.
it's one of his other ones.
One of his other ones that
I bet he's not
plays.
going to use any Series 10 music though, is he?
No,
Damn it, he'd never release it that easily.
never released. It will be dead by the time he
We'd never
releases it.
trick him into releasing a
Trick him.
song from.
You can't trick Murray Gold. The
Mm,
man's
well, you know.
untrickable. He's a music god. You can't trick the gods twice, Jake. Anyway,
Mm,
once. Anyway, we get this standoff with
mhm,
Maestro in one of the recording studios. No again.
mhm.
And this time Maestro is like, what the fuck is going on? Which I like. But seems to know more about it than anyone else does as well.
Mm,
That seems to find something within Ruby Sunday that they don't like
yeah,
very much, and says, "How could he be there? This doesn't make sense."
how could he be
Interesting
there?
things, all for the theories.
Mm.
I like it though. I like these little tidbits.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think a lot of the planting, shall we say, this series so far has been very it's all been like breaking fourth walls and it's been very deliberate. Um,
In summary, Russell T Davies knows how to plant his seeds.
oh, what? He knows how to plant his seeds. Oh, that sounds. Oh no. Um,
Moving on.
moving on. It just feels very clunky, so I hope that this is like the beginning of a sort of smoother hint drop.
Maybe.
Know
We'll
what I
see. I
mean?
mean, the next episode isn't written by Russell, so we'll see how
Yeah.
much gets buried in.
Who knows?
Yeah, music battle, Janey. There's a music battle between the Doctor and Maestro. It's cheesy as hell. Especially the bit where Maestro does actually go like, music battle.
Oh yeah. I kind of liked that though. I mean, the reverse sort of
Like,
throwing the violin and getting it back was a bit it was
I
weird.
didn't dislike it. It is very cheesy, one way or
It's
the other.
it's very
For better
but I
or
did
worse,
enjoy the music, and that's all that matters.
I suppose. There's another lovely quote from
And that's I thought
Shooty
it was
here
a
that I like.
very oh, oh,
Moving on from the music. Well, not moving on from the music because music's everywhere in this bloody episode.
everywhere.
Says a quote I really like, very
Mm,
doctorish, where he says, I've lived and I've loved, and I can only smile like this because I have lost so much.
mm, nice.
And he's
Um,
telling Nitro that he can figure out the vanishing chord because he can put enough emotion into the music,
mm,
which it sort of makes sense. Like, as Maestro's like, you'll never find
yeah,
the lost chord, and the Doctor's like, well, I've got so much, experience and emotion
yeah.
that I can find them. I can solve the music puzzle.
Mm,
Except he doesn't solve the music puzzle.
no, he
'Cause the
does
piano
not.
gets thrown out the room, and then some random Liverpudlian with glasses
Yeah, who
happens to
was
stumble
that?
across
Who was?
it.
I heard that it was someone's brother, but I don't.
Well, this is maybe where the episode does like thin a little bit, like plot wise, because it's like really just like we'd almost forgotten about the Beatles at this point. They were in the
I
episode,
had forgotten about
and
them.
then John Lennon just happens to walk in
Yeah,
at the
just
right
like, oh,
time to
look,
find
the
the piano.
piano.
Doesn't even know what's going on. He just sees it. And he sees the little glass things. So,
Well,
oh,
and
look
I
at this.
have to say,
What the fuck have
I
I been
have.
smoking?
Oh, oh, another one. They're all in the room tonight. Um, I saw online, and you may be able to help me with this, or your dad may be able to help us with this. I saw somewhere that neither of them could actually read music.
They didn't need to read the music because he only plays one chord,
Awful.
and it's one that he comes up with
No, but they
in his.
did because the notes are up there. The notes are up there, and they're going, "Oh, what comes next?" You know?
Maybe. I have no idea. Also, you do say they because Paul McCartney also happens to
Oh
just
yeah,
stumble
sorry,
in.
he was there as well. I don't know
He's
how he
there as
got
well.
there, what he was
Once
doing
again,
there.
it's nice to see that they managed to get all two of the Beatles in for the scene.
Yeah,
No
what are the
one's forgotten.
chances? What are the
I mean,
chances?
to be fair, I don't know how Ringo could help because he's a drummer. You know,
Well,
Ringo, can you
I've
play
done
this chord?
something. Could have made the tea.
Could have made a cup of tea, lads, while you try to come
Yeah.
up with that note. Something like that.
Mm, that's nice.
That worse.
It wasn't as
Ah.
good as the first try, I have to say. But anyway,
Constructive criticism. We're always welcoming that. Uh,
sorry.
anyway,
Um,
I don't find it to be the most satisfying of resolutions. There's too much happenstance. The fact that the
yeah.
Doctor and Ruby have hee-haw to do with it, like someone literally just comes in and fixes it for them, isn't
Well,
the best.
yeah, and they were trapped in like that though. I quite
That
liked it.
shot of
But then,
the drum,
mm,
yeah, that shot of the drum, like there's a
mm,
shot in the trailer with the Doctor's hand trying to press through the drum, like the skin of
yeah,
the drum.
mm,
So many theories were going on about that,
mm.
thinking like, oh, the Beatles get trapped in the drum, or that's how
Which
Maestro
I sort
appears,
of
comes
thought,
out of the
yeah,
drum.
I thought that too.
But no, it's the Doctor being stuck in the drum.
Yeah, I
I
think
get
people
banged by
what we've
Maestro on the
learned
outside.
from this is that people on the internet with too much time can come up with a better story than people who get paid to do it, because that would be and
Yeah.
then you've got to save them. Oh, no?
Yeah,
Do you not agree?
gotta save the Beatles.
Oh God,
Maybe.
he's back.
I don't know.
Oh God.
Anyway, let's put a pin in that. Move on. Maestro is defeated.
Mm,
Warns everyone that the one who waits is
one who
almost
waits,
here.
almost
Chetley
here.
checks their watch and says, 6 more episodes.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
right.
little bit. It's a little bit. It's a big bit planned, isn't it? It's literally like,
Yeah,
oh, okay, any few more hours, really, a few more. He still knows it.
I know. I mean, I
That's
don't
it,
mind it
goes,
too much
as we've said.
since they just had that scene
No,
earlier uh with the Maestro talking about it. Then the Doctor and Ruby go back to the rooftop so that the Doctor can wink at the camera.
yeah, oh, God.
Don't like that.
No, hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. And do you know what I hate more than that? The
What do you hate more than that?
horrible little song they had. I hated the song at the
I
end.
agree.
Oh,
Here's
thank
the
you.
thing. I'm not. I don't hate the fact that they did a dance sequence at the end. I'm kind of impartial, really.
If it was an actual song
But if it was a
and they were
good
singing it and they were
song,
having a great time and they were cutting a rug and it was an actual song, oh my
then
God,
yes,
absolutely go for it. But coming up with this song that all of a sudden everyone knows that's been
there's
transmitted into their
always twist at
brains,
the end. There's
like,
always twist at
oh,
the end.
there's always
It's not the best. I think that's what kind of
awful.
brings it
Oh,
down. There's always a shit at the end.
I
I mean, in Space Babies, that's kind of true as well.
I actually felt kind of embarrassed to watch that at the end.
Were
You
you
know, when
watching
you're
it alone?
watching something and you're just like, oh God, like,
I didn't
oh,
feel that particular emotion, but yeah, didn't
I
like
felt
it.
I felt like
If
I was
they just
watching
if they
like
just bothered to
kids'
buy the
TV.
rights.
I hated
Mhm.
it. I hated it so, and it went on for so long, and I thought it was awful. It was cringy. It was so cringy. No, it was.
Yeah. Oh, another thing to add as well, Shirley Ballas and Johannes Radebe, I think
Well,
that's his
and
surname from
I don't know.
Strictly.
I don't watch it. I don't watch it. And Murray Gold was in.
Murray Gold I get because he's the
Yeah,
composer for the show.
yeah,
Fine.
yeah.
I
Oh,
don't know
yeah.
why
No,
they
why
wanted
were
to
they
get
there? Why were they
Strictly
there?
folks in like
Yeah,
Shirley Ballas just had a really good skincare routine so that she
yeah.
looks the same now as she did in 1963.
She's 100 years old. I just
100 years old, yeah.
I just hated it. I hated it. And it was very sort of Glee. And it was I hated
Yes,
it.
very Glee.
I
Let's
keep
leave it at
on
that.
what I
Very
keep
Glee.
doing is I've rewatched it a few times now in preparation for this, because I'm very professional about this.
Very good.
If you couldn't tell. Um I've rewatched it a few
Mhm.
times, and when I go and rewatch it again, it starts at that bit and then I'm trapped. For a few seconds I'm trapped listening to it before I can rewind,
That
and it's
sounds terrible,
awful.
Janie. I'm so sorry.
It's like a nightmare that I can never escape. It's always there
There is something
waiting.
in that sequence, though, which is of significance.
Oh God, what is it? I think
H.
I've glazed
Arbinger,
over.
H.
Huh?
Arbinger is watching from the shadows.
Yes.
The kid
Well,
flips away discreetly.
uh, because I saw something very, very
But he's obviously
interesting.
working on that in there.
Well, I think
I
he might be
bet
coming
you
back.
did.
I have a
I,
feeling.
well, usually they don't go away to not come back. But
No, well, okay. If you want to be
like
like
that,
logical about it, then we'll talk. But yeah, no, I hope we're getting Jinx back again then, if Henry
we'll discuss
Arbiter.
it in the theory section, which we will be getting to in just a
Momentarily.
short moment. Before we do, we must pass
Yes.
judgment on this story now to reach its conclusion. One
You
little
must
last bit,
pass judgment.
actually.
Mm,
The dancing on Abbey Road
mm.
like a piano. It's kind of nice. I don't mind
Mm.
it too much.
Oh,
Mainly
well,
because it's Cheeky and Millie again, just having fun, and I'm like,
considering
yeah,
the horrors that we won't mind the dancing on the zebra crossing, in
I don't
comparison,
mind it. And it's raining, and they've got their umbrellas.
yeah,
It's
that's
okay. I
fine.
don't
I don't.
mind
It's
it.
a little bit of
And the
fun. It's
from the
I'm not sticking
TARDIS
the
at the
mud.
doors as well.
Yeah, no, it was all
Uh,
right. I didn't mind it. I wasn't offended by it.
Talking of being offended, were you
It was like,
absolutely foaming at the mouth at the fact that Abbey Road didn't look like Abbey Road? Whatever it was, the discourse around it.
no, funnily enough, I wasn't.
Neither was I.
It's
I could tell what it was supposed to be, and that was.
I don't know how. Yeah, it's supposed to be, but like it's all
Also
filmed
appreciate the
in
fact
England.
that it's
They
all
had the
filmed in
Beatles
Wales. They're probably not going to be able to
make it look
film as much of that on actual Abbey Road. And the
identical.
fact that Abbey Road doesn't look like Abbey Road,
Well, and
yeah,
Abbey Road doesn't even look like Abbey Road anymore. So what are people on about?
God
Like,
knows. Anyway, just that point, don't care how it looks fine enough to me. Abbey Road, don't mind it.
yeah, it looks fine. Yeah, it looks
Fine.
fine, honestly. Like, if
Tell you
that's
what,
what
though,
people have a problem with, like, seriously, there are more important things. You know, like, get over it. Get over yourselves.
I know, I know. Anyway, judgment must be passed now, my dear
Yes.
Janey.
Mm,
How are we feeling? I think once again it's on the higher side of the margin.
it's a 2.
It's not a two.
No, it's
I've
not a
got a
2. Can I say something controversial? You won't find it controversial because we've just discussed this, but I think a lot of people will. Is
go on.
that without that little Glee extract, without the little singing, dancing on the tables, everyone's having a great time to this song that all of a sudden we all know but has never been released. If it wasn't for that, in my opinion, near perfect.
I may be just a peg down from you. I'd be like, it would maybe be a 9 out of 10 without the
Oh yeah, I don't
bit,
think
and
it
I would
would.
be down at a 8, a
Yeah,
7 or probably a 7
I.
or 8.
What did
We
we
did just give
for
Space
Space
Baby
Babies?
7.
A 7.
We
I
gave,
think I'm willing to go down to a 6 because of that last number. I'm not gonna lie.
I think overall it's a better effort than Space
I hate.
Babies, like all round. Not the Glee bit, but just all round. We love Jinx Monsoon.
Okay, if we
There's so
say
many
that we're
clever
not
moments.
including, we are not including the Glee bit in this, then I'd say it's a 7.
Well, I'd say it's a 7 with the Glee bit.
I'd say it's a 2 with the Glee bit.
You really didn't like the Glee bit. Well, our decision must be unanimous, Janie. It must be. If we never come to a
Well, we're
unanimous,
going with the hate of the Glee bit.
if we never come to a unanimous decision, we have to stay on this call forever. Eternal disagreement. You're willing
Okay,
to
well,
go to 7?
I'm
No.
willing to go to a 7 despite the horrors that we've just watched.
So we're giving it the same score as Space Babies. It gets 7 Adrics out of 10.
7 Adrics.
The first two stories of season 1 slash series
It's an
14
alright.
slash season 40. 7 out of 10s, that's worse. Fair enough. Anyway,
Mm.
we will be back
Uh,
with
We must
Boom
add
for
the
reviews.
disclaimer about the dance scene, though. It would have been an 8 or a 9, Russell. It would have
It
been
would have been. It would have been
8 or a
if
9,
it's
easy.
actually if you change the music. Actually, that's all you need to do
Yeah,
is
just
get a
a
different score.
proper song, a real that they all know. Just think about it, Russell.
We're
Think about
gonna
it.
have sex on the beach. No,
Oh, okay. Well, maybe not that
maybe not that one.
one.
Trying to think of possible actual songs they could have done. I mean, they've done "Bleeding Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen before. You know, come on, that would have been great.
Or Push the
Having that
Button by the Sugar Babes.
Sugar Babes,
So why not that?
or they've already done Scissor Sisters before,
Yeah, it
like,
was fine.
you know, done that. Done that. Anyway, yeah, 7 out of 10.
They done Scissor Sisters? When did they do
I can't decide whether you should live
Oh
or
yes,
die.
very good, very good, very
Thank
good.
you. Time to go to theories because we can't end this
Yeah.
episode without having a good old chat about what we think is coming up
Can't.
in
Well,
this
I
season.
mean, what's coming is Sutek. Let's not beat around the bush. Come on, he's
Is
coming.
Sutek coming, is he? Putting Sutek back a bit.
Mm.
The way I'm going to do this is I've got
Oh.
questions to ask you, and I'll probably answer them as well.
Oh God, you didn't warn me about this.
Why would I want to warn you about them? I need to put you on the spot
Oh,
for
I'm not
these.
prepared.
I can't prepare you for
I'm not
these.
prepared.
I'm going to start firing some questions your way, and you've got to give me what you think the answer's going to be, and I'll tell you if I agree, or if I think it's something different, I'll tell you what it is. If I think
Okay.
it's something different. First question. Who is the Meeps boss?
I would say it's going to be someone like Omega.
If Omega is the Meeps
Well, no,
boss.
right, okay. Don't quote me on it. Thank you. I don't think.
You're in a podcast, you get quoted on everything. One of my like solid predictions for this upcoming season or two is that we will definitely see another Time Lord. Don't know which
Ooh,
one.
the
Don't know if it's
bishop.
going to be a new Time Lord or an old one. But the Doctor's not going to be the only Time Lord in this series. I am putting that down there. I'm
And one
pretty much
thing
certain.
that I will say is please don't bring Gallifrey back.
I don't think they're bringing Gallifrey back. I think it's going to be like just a
Please, just
like a
rest. Don't
survivor,
die.
or Gallifrey will rest. But
Well,
the Time Lords themselves, like easily, some could have escaped the Master's
well,
massacre. You
there's
know,
there's a Time Lord that I think is coming back 100%.
is it that newscaster from the Deadly Assassin?
Oh my God. How did you know?
I'm a genius.
That is spooky. Um,
Spooky.
funnily enough, it's not.
Who?
I don't know. How do I say this? Don't shoot me down in flames.
Flamethrower is ready.
Susan got a lot of mentions. Well, she got one mention, but that's more than she's had in 25 years.
Excellent. Susan's got a lot of mentions. Well, what
One is a lot. One is a lot.
is a lot?
She has not
I
been
think it's
spoken
more the fact
about.
that Ruby asks if she's dead, and the Doctor's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
like putting
and
that question out there.
my little theory is that Susan Triad, stay with me, is Susan Foreman, but in like her Valiard sort of incarnation where she's a little bit bad.
So you think that the
Right, I can already tell from the tone of your voice.
no. So you think that the mage from Wild Yonder, the heckler from Church and Ruby Road, the space captain from Space Babies, and the
Mhm.
tea lady are all Susan Foreman just pissing about with the Doctor.
Right, okay, well, this is clearly a time traveler. What is
Clearly,
Susan
that's
Foreman?
true.
A time lord, time lady, whatever, Gallifreyan. So why couldn't it be?
Why couldn't it be?
Why couldn't it
You're
be?
not wrong.
And she could be in like a Valiard sort of evil incarnation, wants to cause havoc, sort of
He's got really pissed that the Doctor left her with some bloke
thing.
in a post-Dalek controlled world.
Well,
Not very nice of him.
well,
That's all.
maybe. Maybe she had a really
Maybe.
shitty life after that. Maybe they resented each
I
other.
mean, David didn't. There was a couple of red flags with David, if I'm honest. I don't.
Why
You
there?
know.
What's his
Well,
red
I felt
flags?
like if we keep Adric cast going out of um season one, I would love to do Dalek Invasion. I think it would be such a great story to break down. I think and talk about.
Talk about his red flags.
David's flagged. Well, yeah, but nah. But
No.
you never answered my question. Who is the Meek's boss? Is it Susan Foreman?
Sorry. Oh god,
Is
I'm
that
so
your
sorry.
answer?
No, I don't, but I think it is somewhat Time Lordy. So I think it's like
The Meep
Omega.
does say, because the Meep has two hearts and the
Yeah,
Doctor has two hearts, and the Meep's like, two-hearted organisms, that's interesting. Wait till I tell the boss. The boss is interested in two-hearted
yeah, it's
organisms.
a rare thing. Well, I
That could
think,
be.
well, I don't even think it's that. I think it's more the fact that like the Meep know and is like, whoa, another two-hearted creature. Let's see if they know each other. Do you know what I mean? Do you
It
know
could
what I
be.
mean?
It
Don't
could
you?
be.
Could
I'm not.
be.
It's
Or like,
possible. The
I would
theory
love
section is supposed to be fun as well as
oh,
logical, so
intense.
it's better be what I think it is,
It's
or they
so
will all
intense.
die.
You listen to what I say.
Moving on. The toy maker
Mm,
talked of his little exploits to the Doctor while they were playing
mm,
cards, and he mentioned there was one he could
mm.
not play with, the one who waits.
Yeah, Sutek.
Just as you think the one who waits is Sutek.
Right? Do not take that home with me. How long did Sutek wait in his tomb? Stuck, stiff, sitting down. He waited.
We should patch the questions for a minute and just go into Sutek territory, I think, without
But
now, because
like,
you've
do
been
you get
desperate
where
to
I'm
bring him
coming
up.
from? Did he wait? Yes, he did. How long? A bloody long time.
You know what? I agree that a lot of it points to Sutek. Like,
Same.
the whole god thing,
Thank
Sutek is a
you.
god.
And the
He fits right
sand.
into it.
Oh my.
He's a
Oh, there's so
popular
much.
villain. He's very fondly remembered by many fans and Rusty Davis himself.
Well, and can I just
Gabriel
say,
Wolf, as far as I'm aware, is still kicking. They could
can
get
I?
him into a studio to record lines as Sutek.
That would be brilliant. Can you
Well, who
imagine?
else could do it? Come on, it's got to be him
And
if they
yeah,
do.
it's Sutek. Come on, it's Sutek. We had that little
Also,
callback in the Devil's Chord.
I don't.
What
Yeah,
would
I
they
guess.
be like? A little callback to that
Do you want
episode.
me to?
Come
Do you
on.
want me to shoot you down in flames now?
Oh
Now that
God,
I've
here we
helped
go.
you bring him up.
Yeah, go
You
on
know
then.
what? This might actually only add to the theory rather than destroy the theory, but I think
Mm,
it was in Radio Times. They did a little blurb for every story
mm,
this season. Some of the blurbs were only like a sentence,
mm,
such as Empire of Death. Can't remember what they said about that one. But for
mm,
Legend of Ruby Sunday,
mm.
aka part one of the two-part finale, the hero
One of yeah.
I'll read you out the synopsis that they've put here.
Mm,
The TARDIS is on a top secret mission, heading
mm.
straight for Unit Tower in the middle of modern day London. But 10 floors below,
Oh.
a long buried secret that has been waiting since the era of the third Doctor
It's Omega.
is waiting. Well, I can't say it is because technically he hasn't been
Yeah.
waiting since the era of the third Doctor. He's
No,
been
I
waiting since
know.
Arkham, you know.
Well then,
And Ruby's mother might hold a vital clue
can you
that
just
might
hang on a
change their daughter's story
second?
forever.
And you, if you just talk to the listeners, I am going to just quickly go on to BBC iPlayer and just have a look at the episodes. Just to give me a
It could
sense
be, to
because
be honest, to be fair to the
obviously,
Sutek truthers,
mm,
I was one of you for a little bit. To be fair, it could just be a mistake of whoever wrote that isn't totally
it could be, but then
versed in the
someone's
classic
going to lose
series.
their job, surely. I hope.
He's two seasons out from Pertwee. I mean,
After that, go on.
I wouldn't mind it being Sutek because that, even
Well,
though
and
part of
can I
me
say
likes the
one
idea of
thing? Is that they did this little trailer a while ago, and it was like Doctor Who is full of space babies, boogeymen, and it had all like these tiny little clips with
oh,
like
shit.
words. One of them was sand, and it was like the sand rushing in and filling the streets. And
I
Sutek.
know. Initially, when I watched the sort of trailers, I noticed in the unit base at one point it gets filled with snow. And I thought that must be the same as the
Mm,
sand, and is whoever it is controlling the weather. We know now from these two episodes that the snow and the sand might actually not be connected
mm,
because the snow is obviously Ruby Sunday
yeah.
and all of that. That's where the snowstorm is coming in unit. The sand, I mean, the sand has to be coming from whatever the baddie is.
Mm.
Such a mysterious thing. I'm gonna keep going with
Yeah,
questions now that
which is what makes me think
we've dived
Sutek.
into Sutek. Now that we've dived into Sutek, you can bring him back up as we go through questions if you wish.
I will
Next
be doing that.
question: who do you think Ruby Sunday's mum is? The one who pointed at the doctor and all of that.
Sutek. No. Um, I actually think, and
You're
I
like my
thought this.
ankles, doctor. I
I
love
have
the ankle.
I've actually thought this since we first saw, before the Christmas special, we saw the church before the special was released, the Christmas special.
Yeah,
I actually think,
yeah, we
and a lot
did.
of people were saying it's Jodie, look at the boots. I actually think it's Ruby. And I think something's going to
That's
happen.
probably the most likely answer.
I
Is
think
that it's
something's going to
Ruby?
happen, and
Why
she's
is
going
she
to have to
pointing at
make
the
sure.
doctor though? That's so creepy.
Well, because
Fuck's sake, Luke.
maybe someone else is manipulating the memories. Maybe
Or
it's not
maybe she's not
Ruby.
actually pointing at the doctor. Maestro says, "How could he be there? Someone else is there at that church."
Maybe he's
Is a
behind the
he.
doctor.
Maybe Sutek is behind the doctor.
It's suit.
Yes. I do think, like, the way that
Um,
Maestro's worded it is that there's a he there, like, how could he be there?
yeah,
I don't think Maestro's talking about Ruby Sunday's mum,
no,
so maybe there is a villain there. I don't think whoever the villain is under
I
that
think there's
hood.
a villain.
I think it's
No,
probably Ruby,
yeah,
and
no,
she's
it's
just
not.
pointing at the
It's
doctor, being like, "Look out, Doctor Sutek
yeah.
standing behind you."
Okay, so we've established who it is. Great.
Moving on. Next question: who is Mrs. Flood?
Um.
Sutek. It makes
Oh,
perfect sense that Mrs. Flood is Sutek.
she is Zutek,
He
or
sits in a
maybe
chair all the
my
time, just like
my
Sutek.
own my only other theory about Mrs. Flood, that she
Yeah.
is the woman who puts Ruby on the doorstep, and maybe she's a sort of being a sort of guardian sort of figure, you know, and sort of maybe needs to
Now, Mrs.
look
Flood,
out for
in all
Ruby a little bit.
seriousness, we know two
Mm,
solid facts about Mrs. Flood.
mm,
One of this is a spoiler because it's from filming pictures. The two solid facts are that Mrs. Flood can travel through time,
yes, and she knows what
'cause and she knows what a TARDIS is.
TARDIS is.
I think if anyone's
Yeah.
gonna be a Lord, and I did say there's definitely gonna be another Time Lord showing up in this season, it's gotta be Mrs.
Mhm.
Flood.
And you think she's Susan?
I mean, I don't know,
Oh,
but
that's not no.
the way that she's, like, never seen a TARDIS before, that's a Time Lord.
Mm,
I think it's Time Lord. Could be a
yes,
new
but
Time Lord
who?
character, could be an old one,
Oh my
but I
god,
think
she's
Mrs.
Omega.
Oh, I was saying Sutek because she sits in the chair like Sutek does.
She sits in the chair. Yeah, no, no, actually, you've got a really good point. Yeah, I think so.
"You
I
must
think
wait,
that.
doctor. I need to pour myself another coffee before I can destroy
Yeah.
the human race.
Oh, very good.
Would you like one as well? Would you like an
Mm,
espresso?
Gonna
Give you the
a little
energy
bit
to run,
creepy. A
Sutek."
little bit creepy.
Sutek is creepy.
I'm really intrigued by this third Doctor villain,
Well, that's in the thing, so something's been waiting since the era of the Third Doctor.
and it's
People have thrown
connected to
around as Al.
Unit.
People have
Yeah,
thrown
I
around as Al.
don't know. I
Nah.
kind of hope not, because I'm not gonna lie. I know that that's a fan favorite, but I
Well, I like the
find it a little bit
demons.
scary.
I like
Mm,
the
oh,
demons, but
sorry.
Zal is admittedly a weak point in it.
Yeah.
He's the topless bloke who's trying to balance on these hoof
Stilts. Yeah.
stilt things, and he's very susceptible to other people. By the way, like every time the
Mm,
master's like, "Do this," the doctor's like, "Do that." He's
mm,
like, "Very well, I shall do that."
mm.
And you know, is not the best, if I'm honest. I don't think it's Zal. People have also
No.
thrown around Axos. Thing about
Well, I was
Axos is it
thinking,
doesn't really chime into the whole gods thing, which I think
no.
is very important to who the final villain is going to be.
Who could it be then?
I don't think it's Omega because of rights issues, if
Mm,
nothing else.
yeah.
Uh, I don't think he's coming back. And also, I think people would kind of be like, "Oh, of course it's fucking away." You know, it wouldn't impress. It wouldn't wow. It wouldn't surprise.
Oh, I know who it is.
Who could it be?
It's the Borat from our favourite Time Lash, because as we know, the third
The fucking Borat. Oh my
Doctor
god.
did
And
actually
Borat
visit.
sits in a
Oh my god,
chair all the
we've
time like
nailed
Mrs.
it.
Flood.
We have and where did he go when he
The
fell into the
Borat
Time Lash? Where did
went
he
to
go?
Scotland. He
He
did.
mysteriously materialized under unit and
No,
has been waiting.
he was in Scotland. He went to Loch Ness.
Okay, whatever. I'm
But where
trying
did
to
we see units in Terror of the Zygons?
east.
Saw them in Loch Ness. I'm increasing the unit were at Loch Ness in Terror of the Zygons. They picked up the Borad and they took him back to Unit
Yeah, I know,
HQ.
but they. Yeah,
No,
but
but
you
if
could
they
say
took
that
the
of
Borad
any
to
story. You could literally say that of any story and go, "Oh yeah, no, they gave him a lift and now he's under unit." Like, oh
well,
okay.
it could be. Next question. What is up with Susan Twist?
What do you mean?
Susan
I
Twist,
told
that
you she's
lady.
Susan. I've told you
You
she's
think
Susan Foreman.
so you think that Mrs. Flood is Susan, you think that Susan Twist is
No,
also
right.
Susan.
Sorry, you're the one
How
who
many
said Mrs.
Susans
Flood
are
is
coming back?
Susan. No,
I
no.
said Mrs. Flood was a Time Lord.
And I
I didn't
said,
say
oh,
Mrs.
you think
Flood.
she's Susan?
I didn't say no, but I didn't say
I
yes.
don't think that she is. I don't think Mrs. Flood is. I think Mrs. Flood is someone else. And I think Susan Twist is Susan Foreman, which is because Susan Twist.
I've got a not better idea. I've got another idea.
Stone. Mm.
Convenient. I think I've got another idea. I think that Susan Triad, who's appearing in the finale,
Mm.
is not coming from after these little appearances, but before. I think Susan Triad is a regular person,
No, yeah,
who's maybe a little bit nasty or something like that, who's messing around with
yeah.
time. Also, a point to do with Susan Triad, and this is something that people have pointed out on Twitter, is if you do the initials of S Triad,
Harder, yeah,
it's TARDIS. I think there's something to do with the
yeah.
TARDIS going on. And
Very
the
good,
memory
very
TARDIS is
good.
in the finale as well. There's a lot of TARDIS-y stuff
Mm.
going on, it
Lots of time.
seems. I think that, like, maybe the Susan Triad technology is they're using TARDIS technology, salvage
Mm.
TARDIS is something. I think she's messing around with time, and at
Yeah,
one point, she gets thrown into time
yes.
and splinters off and ends up in these little
So
bits in different places, basically, is what I think happens.
basically, that's what we're saying. Yeah,
Basically, she's Clara Oswald or
basically,
Scaroff
she's
last as
Clara.
Jaggeroff as well, maybe, in a
Yeah,
way.
that's an
I
interesting,
th
and I'd agree with
That's
that.
my theory.
But that
I
doesn't mean
think
she
they're all
isn't Susan.
splinters. I think Susan's gonna get thrown in the
I think
time vortex
Susan's
and
going to be
split
like,
apart.
grandfather, look, and then she's going to break her ankle. She's going to,
Gotta break her ankle,
I
gotta be true
sprained,
to the character, Janie.
she's going to be like, I sprained
It's not even like a solid
my
hard
ankle.
break, it's
And be
like
like,
she
oh
tripped over
no.
something, like she
Yeah.
stumbles and then
Yeah.
suddenly her
I
ankle's
think I've
broken.
sprained my ankle.
Kicks the door and like, "Ow, my
Yeah.
ankle's
Oh
broken."
no, grandfather, I think I've sprained my ankle. Oh
To be
no.
honest, I feel like if Susan came back,
Mm,
I would want Carol Ann Ford back as well to play
mm.
Susan. I
Well,
don't
we all
I'm
did.
not really keen on another character just replacing, especially when you got something like, what's her name, who plays Mrs. Flood, Brian May's wife? Forgotten her name
Yeah,
already.
I know it.
Anita Dobson.
Yes, if that's
Anita
what it
Dobson.
is. Okay, I did not know that.
I had to do some raking of the brain. But the lovely Anita Dobson, we love her very much. I don't
Yes.
think if you're gonna have Anita Dobson as Susan because Caroline Ford's too old to do it, I don't think that's a very logical
Well, and like, I know
thing.
you say you imagine Carol Ann Ford comes back and she regenerates. Wouldn't that be a sight to see?
Oh, that would be fine, but I just think Caroline Ford is worth bringing back
Oh, 100%.
anyhow.
Yeah, I agree.
But it could be Susan. Okay, so we've got Susan,
Susan is
Suzette.
everyone. Sutek is everyone. Omega
They're
is everyone.
they're
They are
they're
all
the
one
same. What if
person.
they're the same? What if Sutek and Susan are the same?
Oh my god.
It all adds up. I'm
Russell,
pretty
we're
sure
coming
there's
for your
an episode in the
job.
Heartland. I'm pretty sure there's an episode in the Heartland where Susan like spends a good amount of time sitting in a chair, like Sutek does. It
Oh my
all adds
god.
up.
Case closed. Case closed.
I've got it. So I was going to give you a final question.
Oh.
This question's kind of answered itself many times,
Oh.
but I'll ask it anyway
Is it
because I
Sutek?
suppose no, it's quite simply because it could apply to other episodes as well. I suppose. Will there be any returning baddies this season? And this answer this one like properly, honestly. What do you think?
Well, well, no, actually, honestly, I there obviously will because
He's never not brought a new thing back for a
he's
finale.
never
Well,
not done it,
technically not
and
with
sometimes he's done it
Doomsday,
more
but
than once in a
yeah.
series. So yeah, of course he'll do it.
I mean, the Cybermen's return wasn't Doomsday, but we'll count it anyhow. Uh, yeah, I think personally, I get what people are saying about a clean slate with monsters.
Mm.
We have had that before with Series 11, which I didn't think went too well on the monster front, to be honest.
No,
Uh,
no.
I'm very down for new monsters. We've had some great ones
Oh
these
yeah,
past couple of
definitely.
episodes.
Yeah,
And I think for the most part, we will have returning old monsters. Sorry, we'll have new monsters for the most
yeah.
part.
Well,
That
and it's
finale,
like
though, I have
we
got a
could
feeling
bring
that
something back from like 50 back catalogue. So like, I don't know why they're moaning. Like, come on, bring
there will be
something
no
back.
Daleks. I'm quite adamant that the Daleks aren't in this
Yes,
series.
I hope. I don't.
I have got a little micro theory with the Daleks
Mm,
because one thing that does feel very odd with that, their absence is slightly conspicuous, mainly because with this new era, with
mm,
Disney getting in the action, I'm surprised that it hasn't been brought up very much, and especially like when you think about it from the Disney angle,
mm.
I feel like if they've got their hands on Doctor Who, they're
Yeah,
like, we would want some Daleks anonymous with the show, pretty much.
yeah.
We haven't seen any, not just for this era, but for this series, but for the next one as well, which they've
Mm.
been filming the finale of recently, and we've seen location footage of that. No Daleks, not even a hint of one.
No, I
And
kind of hope.
what I think is happening in
Mm,
terms of the Daleks,
mm,
I don't think that they're going to be not. I don't think they're going to be totally absent. I think what they might do is they might Thanos the Daleks. That probably makes no sense to anyone, but I'll
I
explain.
think I get your meaning.
For Marvel,
Mm,
their big bad of Thanos,
yeah,
they brought him
or like
in
little
for like
teasers.
little teasers and like
Yeah.
post-credit scenes. I think maybe we might get a post-credit scene at the end of the series, and it's the Daleks gearing up for something. That's my
Oh,
that's
that would.
like,
Yeah, that would.
and that's just it. And maybe even in the next series, you don't get any Daleks until the very end post-credit scene. They're
I
still
mean,
getting on with whatever they're doing,
be
and then
lovely
in
to
the third
have.
series, Daleks big time. Anyway, I think that's a good note to end the episode on. We've
Well,
well,
before we go, we should talk about the trailer for next week's episode, Boom.
boom, boom.
Boom, which they're quite short trailers. Did you notice that?
Russell likes it short.
Oh, well,
Anyway,
I wouldn't know.
I would. I mean, I guess
I
it's run times and stuff. Like,
yeah,
next time trailers just to
I
be
just
really
sort of
long, and I
thought
think. Hmm?
like it doesn't really give much away, which is obviously the point, but it doesn't really give
What it
anything.
does give away is the fact that it's very intense. They have like a
Mm,
heartbeat sound effect going on,
mm,
and the theme music cuts out for it,
yeah.
which it didn't for the Devil's Chord.
Mm.
So
I'm
interesting. I
excited.
think
I
it's
am
going to be
excited.
a. I know a lot of people are like, oh God, Moffat's coming back, uh,
Yeah.
but I think he is a very good writer. Ultimately, I think that
I
for
think he's for
individual
new
episodes of
writers,
Doctor Who,
as we have spoken about. Mm. I think he
we
was
haven't
better
spoken about it on the podcast,
when he was doing individual episodes rather than when he was showrunner. I have to
and
say
that's
that.
what he's doing here.
Yeah.
So I
So
think we
I'm
could
really
be in
happy.
for a very good episode potentially
Mm.
next week. Don't mess it up, Moffat.
Yeah, I hope so.
Don't mess it up. Also,
Don't
if you've
mess it.
managed to bring back the Famasi or something in your story, because we haven't seen
Oh
who the baddies are,
God.
I'll kiss you, Moffat.
I'd actually, but I
You
don't. I wouldn't.
mentioned Famasi.
Wouldn't hold. I wouldn't hold your breath on that.
I, I, I wouldn't, but we'll see.
Well, there we go.
Lovely. Before we go,
Mm.
if you're listening right now, you've made it through 2 episodes of Adric Cast, please support us. We have a Twitter account.
We
Go and like.
do.
I think we'll probably try and make a TikTok account because apparently they all do these
Oh,
podcasts. So if we do that, go and like us on that as well.
interesting.
Support the podcast. We're gonna have a YouTube channel
We
where
are.
the episodes will be available if you're on YouTube. Click the like button for the video and subscribe. If you're listening to this on SoundCloud, like that as well. If you're listening to this on Spotify, say, "Damn, Gregor managed to get the episodes on Spotify. Well done." Apple Music or whatever. Hopefully, it'll be available in quite a few different
Every single
platforms.
format.
Whichever one takes your fancy, and we will be back. Sorry, I know it's bad. It's hard to hear, but we will be back
We will be back. Begrudgingly, we
next
will be
week.
back. Is that a word? I feel like it's a word.
Begrudgingly, we will be back next week for Boom. So tune in again to hear our
Ooh,
thoughts on that and beyond as well. We'll catch you
yes.
then for more
We
fun.
will.
Take care.
Goodbye. Bye. 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 Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.